guys, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing good today. I've been running balls to the wall since I woke up this morning. I woke up late. And then I had a customer. I had to go and do an emergency water change on. They went out of town and didn't tell me. And then their wife came home and they didn't have any idea what to do. So yeah, had to do that about 10 o'clock on the dot this morning. So that was wonderful. And I had 3 clients after that, and I just walked in the door probably 10-15 minutes ago. So it's been nonstop. What do you mean? I've been playing that for like the last week in my openings. New music. I'm just glad it's not the elevator music from StreamYard. I wish they would at least let you like upload clips of your own stuff. That'd be pretty cool. Alright, looks like guest was in here first. James, how's it going, man? Hope you're well today. Melissa, Scott's Aquatics, Gina's Reef, Geek Boy, Barbara Jackson, Mike's Aquatics and Things, Annie Finn Goes, how's it going? Nice to see you. Welcome. Gina French, to you as well. Sketty Nona, John Jensen, Debbie Holden, Carlos. What else we got in here? Looks like that's it. Lady Rorschach. Yeah. We be talking a little bit about reptile enclosures today. It's kind of an overall general I don't know how to put it, theories and ideas, and I don't know, just kind of letting y'all know what some things to keep in mind would be. I don't know why I'm having trouble finding my words here. All right. Caged Aquatics, how's it going, Keith? I see Karahula. All right. Give it a couple minutes here. I don't even think it's been 5 minutes yet. Yeah, I got another client at 4:15, and then after that, I gotta do water change on my saltwater tank, and then that's about it. So the rest of my day should be fairly easy. Fingers crossed. Unless I start feeling a little froggy there, get carried away doing other stuff, which is usual. Vino, how's it going, man? Muppet. Anybody else doing anything fun today? Watching to update my 3 herps cages, like what plants I can put in with BP and not have to worry over both of them, plant and animal. It's a tough one. I got a few ideas for you. Just don't let me forget about what you said here, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Give it another. I like to start about 10 minutes in. People to time to get around here. Water change day too. Heck yeah, that's what I like to hear. Yeah, I just know in my ass I might forget, so it's the only reason I ask. Water changes here too. Righty. Um, I guess I can touch on it right now. I don't normally personally I don't put a whole lot of plants in with my ball pythons. That's just me though. Not saying anything against it, but if I was to, um, one of my mentors did, and when he did, he had kind of like a bioactive enclosure in the bottom, but hanging from the top of the enclosure going down in, or kind of like in pots stuck up into the corner of the cages, he had pothos that would flow down all over the cage in places, and it kind of carpeted it up pretty good with that, and they seem to really like that. The only problem with them, you put smaller plants that don't have very strong or long, big root structures. Um, Sometimes they'll wrap them up and pull them out, knock them out. So, um, definitely want to make sure you're putting kind of larger plants in there if you're able to, or at least plants that have really big root structures. If it, if you're able, if it's a planted something like that, unless you want something like the pathos up, kind of encroaching everything. That's what I would do. I just really like the look out of it. A bunch of spider wood, or not really so much spider wood, but just kind of pieces of wood in there and stuff to kind of help give it a little more structure. The pothos or the plants that are over. Been running errands all morning. Gonna have more later tonight. Fun, fun. Cleaning all the hang-on back filters. Right on, Rob. I added a world record length pleco turd still in progress in your Discord. What? That's wild. Holy shit, that thing's a mile long. Wow, that's insane. Towards like a burrow with roots all around. Well, get you a nice piece of driftwood like that, you can, or a few pieces to kind of shape into to what you want. And if you put it upside down in the enclosure like that, you can kind of make a little burrow. So there's like that big shape right here. You kind of make a little burrow with all that. That's what I was kind of talking about with making like a burrow and stuff like that. How the vine and everything encroaches over all of it. And then what you can do, I don't have any laying around here, those little like terracotta, or not really, you don't have to be terracotta pots, but little planters. You can kind of get and glue them in place in between the branches and have even more plants kind of growing out of that and stuff. It's you can do quite a bit with it. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm sounding like a dumbass. Hashtag lurk mode. Dee Dee, hope you're well, chick. Just trying to make it look like something you would find in the wild. You are? Okay, good. Glad I am. Yeah. Just trying to think. Because normally, like, I like using a lot of half logs and stuff like that. You can do some mosses too, for sure. Some terrestrial mosses. And I'm not saying there's you can't try other plants and stuff like that, but um, just try to keep in mind that they can and will sometimes push plants up and deroot them and stuff like that. So, but try anything. I mean, as long as it's animal safe, obviously. There are an Exoterra front doors. You can do quite a bit with that. That'd be fairly easy to do because the top, have a light just sitting right on top of it there for the plants. These are nice enclosures. And there is some plants like Anubias and stuff like that that you would be able to glue to pieces of wood or rock and stuff like that that you could do as well. Obviously, you just want to make sure the roots are protected. But saw a video where someone made underground caves using black PVC pipes with turns. You see 2 inches to the cave disguised with the rock. Yeah, I think I know what video you're talking about, Dee Dee. It's pretty neat. You can do stuff like that too. You need a real deep enclosure for that. How's it going, Jess? All right. Now down to the topic here. I just want to talk a little bit about enclosures today. A lot of people seem to think there's absolute rules to enclosures. In reality, a lot of it's just not practical, or most people, in most cases, don't have the money for it. And with that being said, if you have an animal and you have a nice enclosure already and it breaks, and you're not able to keep that animal, like a reticulated python or something, in that enclosure anymore, you have to put them in something else for a while. You know what? If something was to happen to my enclosure, I have a 120-gallon tote with a locking lid. And if I ever need to, I can put my 13-foot reticulated python in that tote for, I don't know, a week or so. Or until I'm able to put up another enclosure or something like that. And that's totally acceptable. As long as it's getting fed, it's getting watered, you're keeping its temperatures all right, you're good. A lot of people freak out about simple stuff like that, and that's just not, it's not cool, and it's not true. Melissa F, she can vouch for a lot of the stuff that I'm about to say. People are, okay, you know how we call in the fish fam people tank Nazis and stuff like that? They just only think there's one way of doing things, and you got to do it this way, it's their way or the highway and all this. And no, people are just like that in the reptile hobby with enclosures, or you get bioactive Nazis. Every enclosure you got to have got to be bioactive. It's got to be. No, nothing else. And sometimes it's just not feasible. Yeah, the fish popo. Um, and that's just not true. Um, just like the fish hobby, everybody keeps fish differently. Well, everybody keeps reptiles differently. Not everybody has all the money in the world, or not everybody, you know, frankly, has the experience or knows of multiple ways of doing things right. I mean, I'm sorry, I've been keeping reptiles my entire life. One setup might not work for the exact same animal of another, you know? So you got two of the same animals, you got two ball pythons. One ball python might just not like having all those plants and everything in its closure. Sometimes it freaks them out. Or like this one I have here next to me, it doesn't care. You put a log in there. I put a little bit of faint ivy in there, a water bowl. I keep the substrate clean, and he's as happy as a lark. You know, so you really got to pay attention to your animal in a lot of these cases too, because sometimes they just don't like it. 15 inches of sand on top of that too. Yep, yep. And I'll be frank, like people are more ruthless about it in the freaking reptile hobby. But on all honesty, it doesn't matter. I mean, personal preference. A fish tank is a fish tank. It's not made for reptiles. Um, but that's my personal opinion. A lot of people keep reptiles in fish tanks because that's all they have, or that's all they were able to afford, which is okay. And some reptiles do good in fish tanks. But I'm not going to keep a 13.5 foot reticulated python, in a giant fish tank. That's just not cool for the animal. And that's just my personal opinion. And a lot of people will agree with that. My biggest thing is that's what I want. I don't want is people to be driven away from the reptile hobby because of shit like that. It's not it's not cool. That's not how we're all about. That's not how we're going to grow the hobby. That's not how we're going to save this hobby. You know. So always keep that in mind. Now, a little bit back to the actual enclosures. Like my retake, she's it's an old wine crate. It's a giant shipping wine crate. It's like 8 feet by 4 foot by something. It's a whole rack. The whole front flips down, and it's huge. It's huge, absolutely huge. And I converted that into an enclosure for my Richie. Well, my boa is on it now. And that worked great. Now, the enclosure I have my reticulated python in now was an enclosure that I built myself. It kind of looks the same, but out of 2x4s and stuff like that, and plexiglass. But it looks very similar, and that's the enclosures that I enjoy because I'm able to customize them and use them as I please, because of what they are. And if it's done right, it looks good. You can go over to, what is it? It's like fake rock. You can cut it in sheets, and you can cover all parts up, or all the wood up. You can paint it. You can, cut out actual wood panels to cover it all to make it look like, real nice shelf. You can do all sorts of stuff, and then you can go out and buy, those expensive PVC enclosures and stuff like that. You can do that too. They work really good as well. But it's really up to your own preference at this point, where we are in the hobby. But always keep in mind, how happy is your animal really? So no matter what enclosure they're in, if it's new, you need to watch them. You know, you try to upgrade into a nice new fancy enclosure because somebody told you is the best thing. And you put that animal in there and it just freaks out. What do you do now? You tear it all back apart and figure out what you're going to do next. You know? Because obviously you don't want to leave that animal in that kind of enclosure or in that kind of environment with all the stress. It's not good for them. Fish, reptile, and humans even, you know? Yep, and custom. That's another big side to custom enclosures. They're usually cheaper as well. Yep. And there's nothing wrong with that, Mike. I love a front opening enclosure, especially for big snakes. It's a lot more manageable, a lot safer. That's what I've always used usually. And in a lot of cases, they make like all glass exoterras and stuff like that, which isn't far off from a fish tank because it's just all glass, right? Well, some animals need that, like some geckos and frogs and stuff like that, because they have to keep the humidity and they have to keep the moisture inside. And there's ways to modify fish tanks so it's front opening and all that stuff, and that's okay. But just make sure you're doing the research on what you need, particularly for the animal you're keeping in that particular enclosure. You know, you plan on getting a black monitor, black dragon. Let's get, like over 8 feet or almost 8 feet, tip to tail. You know, you're not going to want to keep that in a 4 foot by 8 foot tall enclosure. No, you're going to want something that's a lot wider and about that tall instead. You know what I mean? So you always got to keep stuff like that in mind. You know, you got where you're going to be keeping the enclosure. It's going to be cool. Too cool for whatever animal you're keeping. You got to keep that in mind. So you got to build that enclosure around that. You don't want something that's just an all screen enclosure when you got the AC running at 60 degrees the entire time, you know? So build to where you're putting that enclosure. Build to where what animal's in that enclosure. And don't just use one resource. Or build or getting. So that's just kind of like some of the bigger pieces of advices I can give people and what I can tell them to keep an eye out for. I'm not done yet, but yeah. Of crate enclosure, you can make it imaginary thing too. Point each Miss Beagle. Imagine Darwin's ship. Yeah. Yeah, you ain't wrong there. But and a lot of those real nice enclosures they're outrageously expensive. And they're just not feasible for most people, honestly. Another thing I see a lot, people bitch about people keeping snakes in rack systems and stuff like that where they don't have light and whatnot. Well, how do you think all these breeders that breed thousands and thousands and thousands of snakes breed ball pythons and all these other animals? Snakes don't necessarily, it helps. There's nothing wrong with giving it to them. But a lot of these snakes don't need like UVB and stuff like that. You just don't require it. So technically in keeping these animals in these rack systems and stuff like that is, one, way more cost effective. Two, nothing wrong with it. And a lot of these animals are the happiest animals you'll ever see. Hell, they wouldn't be breeding if they weren't, So And the Reptarium, for example, Brian from BHB Reptiles. What do you think their breeding rooms look like? Walls and walls and walls and walls of breeding racks. So, yep. Where is it? Yep. There it is. She's right. Thought about going down that rabbit hole with the racking? Hey, there's nothing wrong with it, man. As long as you give them animals what they need, you're good. And as long as they're happy. I've kept snakes in racks for years. So did my father. Ain't nothing wrong with it. When you have hundreds of snakes, or I mean, even more than like 20 snakes, you're not. You know how much it is to pay for a $400 enclosure for all 20 of those snakes? Or more than that? That's absurd. It's an absurd amount of money. You know? So. No worries, Bunny Viper. Mary Page, I saw you sneak in here. Appreciate it, chick. Steven. If you guys have any questions or anything, fire away. I'm just kind of, I didn't plan anything. I'm just having a discussion about enclosures, giving my, kind of a little bit of my peace of mind, I guess. Everyone knows dirted is the only right way to keep fish. Many inches also. 15 inches of sand on top. That's where that came in. Yep, different climates need different care. And it all ties back into making sure you're building or getting that enclosure around that animal and where you're going to put it. With the side of alt right, Jesus. You keep a 15-foot ball python or python in a 20 fish tank, right? I'm sorry if I ever saw that. I'm gonna kick you in the nuts. That's how I feel about that. A rebreather tank is okay, but not long term. They need more airflow. Yep, and it helps keep the, yeah, exactly. In a lot of cases, most cases, even just you can clean that tank out one day, and the next day it's gonna smell again because there's no airflow. There's nothing. It's definitely not okay. I don't feel it's okay long term at all either. New to reptiles, but I have so many I want now. Heck yeah, Jenny Lynn. That's awesome. Happy belated, by the way. I'm actively, okay, there we are. Custom enclosures are usually cheaper. There's Mary Page. Make sure I'm missing nothing. Rocks are best for non-venomous snake. For venomous snake, not a fan of personally. You can. That goes along with putting anything in the enclosure with a venomous snake, really. They can hide behind it. Just worried about being overran with Neos. Best way to keep humidity up in a tropical enclosure. Foggers work well. Mist systems. Or misting. Personally, I like using foggers a lot. Just that real fine mist resting down on the bottom of the enclosure really seems to help. And if it's more of an enclosure, not screen or anything like that, it really kind of builds up in there a little bit. Like ABC, his Hua Gecko enclosure kind of has a good system going on like that, where it's nice. Mist system on top of the fogger as well. No problem, Rico Stan. Poop away, sir. Poop away. Have I kept rainbow darters? I have not. They're, I know I can find them up here in my local waters, but I've never kept them personally. Used to catch them all the time as a kid. Keeping a turtle has been the most challenging pet. They will get out of their enclosure. Yeah, if you don't have a lid or enclosed or anything like that, they're really good climbers. People don't understand that that turtles can climb pretty well. Last box hero, how's it going, man? Allison Nicholson, welcome, welcome. Hey, made it this time, huh? Allison's been hitting the replays pretty hard. Appreciate it. Are they really that colorful? Not usually. A lot of the photos that I've seen online seem to be color altered. They're just, some of them seem to be really out of this world bright, and I've never seen any quite like that. Let's see here. I see them more so with kind of like the brownish, silverish with the black stripes and the yellows and blues and blacks on the fins more than I see any of them. A lot of these just seem super bright. Yeah, here's a good picture of kind of what I'm used to seeing. Let me pull it up here. Something like this is be a really, really good one that you would find, but normally something like this is what you see. At least in my experience. Can't decide my next project. Pair of carpet chameleons or a colony of emerald tree skinks. Emerald tree skinks are fun. No problem, Jeff. Hey, Brendan, letting your stream run on the phone. We're trying to finish Halo 4 campaign before we have to leave at 4. Thanks, Jake. Yeah, they are pretty. You find them in a lot more places than you think. I was surprised. I never knew as a kid until I got older and looking it up that I normally don't find them around here too often. Adkins, just getting ready for work. No problem, man. Hope you have a good day. Would be special order for us, I would imagine. Yeah, possibility. 31 people in here. You guys are awesome. Chalupa no tomatoes. And there's also places you can find that build custom enclosures that are rather cheap. I do it sometimes. If I have a customer that would like an enclosure built or something or upgraded or whatever, I can do that. At least to the ones that I like the enclosures that I have, I'm able to do. Able to make them look real nice, get some universal rock and whatnot. In a lot of places, if you want to pay some money for it, you can get the really nice PVC enclosures or rack systems made custom, all sorts of stuff. So whenever you are looking for an enclosure, be sure to look around. Some you can find one enclosure that's like 48 inches by 30 by 24, and it could be $250 on one site, $460 on another for almost the exact same thing. Stuff like that. There's always another choice when it comes to enclosures. You can be as fancy or you can be as simple as you want. Just like a fish tank. Sorry, I was writing some stuff down. What would you say is the ideal starter reptile for a teenager? There's quite a few. A bearded dragon's a good one. A ball python even. Corn snakes would be a good one. Get some anoles. Start doing toads, frogs, all sorts of stuff. As long as you're the parent or whatever, they're able to provide what they need. A lot of them can be very simple to care for. Leopard geckos is another good one. Blue tongue skinks is pretty good, yeah. Not good with snakes, to be honest. Okay. They have a lot of really cool lizards and stuff. Leopard geckos would be a really good one. There's all sorts of different kinds of them too. Pac-Man frogs are all right. Not. There's a lot of different reptiles. One of my go-tos is usually bearded dragons or corn snakes. Jenny made me love leopard geckos. Here, a couple months ago, I was taking care of one. Let me get some pictures sorted out here. I'm going to send them somewhere so I can pull them up on my computer. The eyes on this little guy were insane. Here he is. There he is. Let me do this. Crested geckos are another pretty good one. They don't require a whole lot. Crocodile, Jesus. Don't use S as an example. All right. Yeah, this guy. He was super cool. The owner just, those are daughters, and he was a little underweight, and they were worried about it, so they gave him to me to kind of get him back going. I loved his eyes, the black and kind of like fading out to the silver, the black stripe down the middle. He was great. He's a little character. I tried getting a picture of him opening his mouth at me, trying to bite me. I was picking on him a little bit. I had a little bit of stuck shit on him, peeling it off. He was fun. No problem, Allison. Yeah. Leopard geckos, cresties are pretty good starters, yeah. Super simple. How can I get a universal rock background through a 18 by 9 gap? Can't roll it. Might have to cut it. Might have to cut it. Sounds like you just might have to cut it. Did you get the seam blender stuff? The little package of the rock dust and glue, pretty much, or silicone? Because if you have that, you can kind of pretty much make it look seamless. If you got universal rock, you can usually get some of that with it. Hey, Allison. I mean, are you afraid of snakes? Is that what it is? Or are you just you're not sure how to handle them? Just curious. Spiny tail lizards, a lot like beardy, yeah. Red belly toads are fun. Crocodile, great beginning. Okay, we're back up there. Yeah. Yeah. Uromastics are easy. Yeah, they're very, very, very similar to keeping a beardy. Chat jumped on me there. Where the heck did it go? Okay, there we are. Do it, Brian, and put it on a harness. Yeah. I wouldn't get a croc skink as a beginner. Those things can be ridiculous. They're amazing, but they're a bit ridiculous. Love my 3 leopard geckos. A lot of fun. Oh, yeah. Not sure how to hold snakes. Well, Allison, it's more or less you let them hold you. Like a ball python. Mine, I can just reach right in his closer, pick him right up. I mean, obviously, take your time and make sure he's not hungry or nothing. But get in there and pick him up. Just kind of hold him in your hand like that. Or if it's a bigger snake, just kind of hold him up. And they'll just kind of do their own thing once they feel comfortable. Or they'll just sit there. Just make sure you don't drop them and smack them off stuff and you're good. And most of the time, once they get going, they'll wrap around your arms and crawl up your shoulder and all sorts of stuff. Super simple. You should know this is going to get them either, like a dog or anything like that. Biggest thing is not freaking out if they get near your face or anything like that, because they're likely to. Definitely don't be freaking out, because that's going to freak them out even more. I suspect snakes, but to handle them, I have no clue. Yep, it's just as simple as that. Yep, support the main body. Yeah, well, you just have to keep in mind that, don't be holding your furry animals before, especially if it's something like a gerbil or a mouse or a rat or something like, don't be holding them before you hold the snake. Hold the snake first, and if you want to hold them afterwards, that's cool. You just don't want him mistaking a hand or something or a finger for something like that. And it's another good one. Don't squeeze. You can kind of wrap your hand around them, but like you say, just don't squeeze them hard or anything like that. We're already at almost at an hour. Probably do another half hour, and I got to get off. I got a client at 4:15, 4:30, so leave me just barely enough time to get over there. Thank you very much for subscribing, Crystal's Pets and Plants. I appreciate it. Very kindly. No problem, Allison. If you ever have any questions or anything, Instagram, Discord, and email. That's where you get a hold of me. There's a bunch of other people here that don't mind helping either. If you don't keep your Cayman on a leash, what an alligator try to eat it. Jeez. I really want a Crebo, but can't decide on which one. Yeah. I really like the yellowtails. I had some for a long time. They're fun. They have a good bite, though. They hurt. Can be a little feisty sometimes, but I like them. They're fun. Yep. I have some money put back for some Bolins, northern white lips. Just waiting for a nerd to have a male and a female available at the same time, which is hard to do. Everybody's after them. I use a few different kinds, Ricky. The one I have in here is like 10 years old, and it's back over there in the corner. I don't know if you can kind of see it here, but you see this little shine right here? That's actually clear nylon hosing running down to the air pump on the floor. So here, uplining in the corner, or god damn it, in the corner of the room right here is my air loop going all the way around the room. Yeah, it was just one air pump in this room. At work, I use two. I have a couple of Pond Masters, another old air pump, and two of the aquarium co-op linear piston pumps. I only use 3 of them at the shop total out of all of those. Just haven't needed to use the new ones yet. This is not recommended for aquariums. You're quick to reply, yeah. Wait, what? You're wanting it from Nerd? I'm confused after seeing that video. What do you mean, Bunny? Yep. Huge fan of their community. Actually, one of the head moderators over there on most of their social media. What the hell is going on here? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Here's the link for New England Reptile. Yeah, that's not. It's not true at all. Well, Donnie and Kevin put out a few videos that about medical videos for reptiles and stuff like that. Stuff that, people like me and, other reptile breeders and stuff like that wish we had the knowledge to do. And whenever something arises or he gets an animal that's sick or something, he'll show it. He's not afraid to show it. And a lot of the vets won't mess with, Bang Shang vipers and stuff like that, venomous animals and just croc monitors and stuff. A lot of veterinarians won't handle that, so we're kind of left to ourselves. In most cases, vets will give you the medicine to deal with it yourself, and he shows it all. And well, after they do kind of like a good mix of different kinds of content, well, video is made kind of calling out what I was talking about the other night about all these reptile tubers and stuff, going out and harming all these animals and making these messed up videos and putting on YouTube for likes and all this stuff. Well, some of them that may or may not have been in that mess got pissed off about it. So forth and hence stuff like that, Bunny. What about I watched that whole video. I've been a nerd, and quite a few other people in here have been a nerd. That's not, it's not even their shit half the time. That, and on top of that, when you have, that many animals, you're gonna run into problems. Simple as that. No matter how many people you have, no matter how good of a breeder you are, you know, you're working with hundreds and hundreds of animals. Genetic issues, um, random shit happening. I mean, it's just like keeping fish. Shit happens. Um, and in a lot, there's this, yeah. Yeah, no, I know what video you're talking about. I followed for Kevin for eons. That's where my 18-year-old reticulated python came from. Like, it's not. That's not true. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. They they have a lot of haters. Simple as that. I mean, granted, it doesn't help that some of the videos they make creates them, but if everybody's just gonna sit back and not say anything about all the shameful shit going on, then who the fuck is? Huh? So they do. They don't mind. I enjoy it because I mean, a lot of the shit that's going on in the fish hobby, the reptile hobby, needs to be said, needs to be talked about. So you're bound to get a few haters through that one way or another. Yeah. It's not no, Bunny, it's not even about that. Simply put, if you're it's same thing with breeding fish. If you're breeding, hundreds of different species of fish, you're going to get problems with fish. That's simple as that. Cancers, cysts, that all happens in fish too. Fish freaks out and scrapes itself, cuts itself open. Reptiles do that too, you know. So, and then having somebody there to show us, what you can do and a good idea to do, and walk you through a scenario like that is invaluable. Yeah, it did, but it's unavoidable at the same time. Yeah, no problem. Just trust me, I wouldn't be as heavily involved in that community if that was the case. Not at all. Fuck, I wear one of their shirts every other fucking day. Trust me. And it's not about I'm just that loyal. No. Because if they were fucking up, regardless of who they were, even people I followed for years, I ain't gonna put up with it. Yeah. Good. Yeah, I mean, me talking about it's not like I'm getting mad at you for asking or anything like that. I just, you know, I feel strongly. I don't. It's not that I feel overly strongly. I just, my friends, man. And if anybody's my real friend, they know damn good and well if you're doing something wrong, I'm gonna call you out on it. I'm probably gonna be one of the first people to do it. But if you're not, I'll defend you. You get what I mean. Hey, there's James. Yeah, he's one of the other head moderators over there with me. Melissa too. Anthony's fishy friends. How's it going? How many species of reptile do I keep? Retic, boas, chameleons, pythons, iguanas. About 7. Different types of each. Me too, Allison. And Kevin also keeps fish too. He's got a whole fish store in his department, or his little store that he's got. He's got a retail store that sells, all your supplies and bugs and feeders, and he's got a fish store built in onto that. It's really neat. Yeah. I don't fanboy over them either. They're just my friends. Oh yeah. Nobody does, Bunny. Yep. Yeah. He's got a bunch of fish. And it's they may not be for everybody. And that goes for everybody. That goes for everybody though. I might not be for you, which is cool. I don't care. You do you, boo. I'm sure there's somebody better you can watch. If that's how you really feel, Grab the plates from a new car arrived. That's it. It's now a used car. This is Jenny Lynn's little guy. Cute little thing. He's got eyes kind of similar to the one I was showing. Looks like from a distance, anyways. It's pretty cool. Got about another 10 minutes here, guys. I don't want to have to be hitting off. Only have one snake from Aqua Balls, but Priscilla has a few. We're both looking to get more into reptiles and aquatics. It's understandable. Yeah. Me, I like fish and reptiles too much equally to give up one or the other. So I'll always keep both. Always, always, always. Yeah, Keenan, I like Keenan too. I don't have anything against Brian either. He's just a little too energetic for me. I keep up on his stuff, but Dingo Dinkelman's a nice one too. I'm good, Ricky. I've kept tarantulas and other random stuff. This is not what I'm into. I will say though, I've been wanting to get a little praying mantis, a ghost mantis. One of my ball pythons is from BHP. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I like the video of Brian and Shaggy 2 Dope came to the Reptile Center. Yeah, I watched that too. It was pretty good. I don't know. Yes, I guess I've never really paid attention to that. It says praying mantis. Great though, I have heard people say praying mantis. Appreciate so many people hanging out with me. It's been really awesome. Last few streams, there's been about 30 people in here the whole time. Makes me feel good. Saw a baby one the other day on my grill. A few more minutes here. Sorry I wasn't too lively tonight, guys. We talked a good bit, though. Some good discussions. Always educational and entertaining. I hope. I cannot. I have an appointment at 4:15, 4:30, so I cannot. Thanks, Gina. Thank you, John. I have no idea. He wasn't there last week. I couldn't tell you. Oh no, like I have a client to take care of at 4:15. An appointment. No problem, Keith. No problem. I wish you could be more helpful. It's just not really a question I'm asked too often. Oh shit! Well, there goes my chair, everyone. Oh, that's lovely. Well, at least I got it on camera. That's fucking awesome. Oh yeah, this thing's fucked. All right. Let me go grab another chair. I'll be right back. So yeah, that happened. Yeah, I knocked a piece of glass off the table over here. Damn it. It kind of hurt. Now I'm going to go back and watch it because that was ridiculous. I'm back. My chair's fucked. Like, just straight dumped my ass on the floor. So, yeah. Oh no, it's busted. I looked at the bottom of it. It's like, it's busted the fuck. And now I have this stupid hard ass wooden chair I gotta sit on. This would be fun. Well, at least you guys got a good laugh out of the night. Out of the stream, I guess. Trying to find it. I caught that. Yeah, I just found it. That's funny. I'm just glad it didn't roll back and smash the tank I got sitting on the floor behind me here. I bet you did, Ian. I bet you did. Yeah, I'm all right. Oh no, that's totally my fault, Ricky. Well, kind of. I just like leaned to the forward front of my chair a little bit and yeah, just dumped my ass on the floor. Not a whole lot, Terry. Just got thrown out of my chair while I was live on stream, so that was lovely. Hey, it still swivels too. Surprisingly. Getting ready to hop off though. I got a client to keep at 4:15, 4:30. So. Oh no, I got scraped up pretty good on the bottom of my arms here. It hurt. Chair dexterity test completed. Man, oh no, I didn't break anything, surprisingly. It sounded like it because I knocked that piece of glass off, but it didn't break nothing. Or the piece of glass didn't break. Pretty much, that was an old chair. It just makes me sad because it was my favorite colors, and I don't know if I'll be able to find another one. Makes me sad. And this one doesn't have armrests or nothing, so yeah. It's not cool, man. Oh no, get too dead tonight. I'm not having too bad of a day. Might do a pop-up later tonight, I don't know. Depends on how, I don't know if it's, oh never mind. Probably not. I know there's a lot going on tonight. Today's Thursday. I forgot. I don't know, Atkins. I'm probably just gonna toss it out and get a new one. Eventually. Well, The problem is, as I paid $150 from it from GameStop, like forever ago. So that could probably why. I didn't spend the money on a nice $500 fucking gaming chair. I don't see the point in that. So even now with all the streaming I do, I still don't see the point in it. Because I'd like one of those big like therapist chairs that's got, it's just like a big old recliner, a big old leather covered chair. It's on rollers and leans back just a little bit. Yeah, that's what I want. Had one for the longest time. How old is it? Several years old. So I definitely got my money's worth out of it. Oh no, that's not plastic, Keith. That's metal. That's all metal down there. From what I looked, it like split. Chair if you've inhaled, no. A little short of me throwing it in the trash. Oh, it's totally chair's fault. It threw me on the floor. Definitely chair's fault. Yeah, watch me do that, Gina, and that thing be like the size of my daughter's little like toy chair. That would be my luck. Grab some real welder. I could. It's just not worth it for me. Press a chair in a Petco dumpster as I'm taking out all of their unused equipment that got thrown in there. All right, guys. I gave you a few extra minutes here. I'm going to have to get off. Thank you, everybody. We got almost 40 people in here at the moment. That's awesome. Yeah, seriously, rock. Again, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't, if you like. It's usually crazy like this all the time. So, yeah, I'm going to get off here and go to work. Thanks, replay watchers, lurkers, everyone. Bye.